Hello everyone and welcome to our webinar Transform Data Entry in .NET MAUI with AI Smart Paste. I am Sriram Shankaran, Senior Product Manager at Syncfusion, and I'm excited to guide you through practical ways to enhance your .NET MAUI applications with AI-powered data entry. Before we get started, here's what we will cover in our session today. We will discuss the challenges of manual data entry and how this solution solves them, a preview of the customer feedback form we will build with Smart Paste, the tools and setup needed, and a hands-on demonstration of building the form, integrating AI, and testing Smart Paste. So let's start with the problem. Manual data entry, especially on mobile devices, is slow and error-prone. Users often copy data from email, chats, or documents and paste it into forms, but splitting the data into fields, for example like name, email, or rating, is tedious. AI-powered Smart Paste uses AI to pass unstructured clipboard text and automatically map it to the correct form fields. Some of the immediate benefits are that it saves time, reduces errors, enhances accessibility, and also modernizes your app. By leveraging AI models like those available in Azure OpenAI, we can bring this powerful and engaging experience seamlessly into .NET MAUI applications. In today's demo, we'll be creating a customer feedback form using the Syncfusion .NET MAUI DataForm control. The form will have fields for name, email, product name, version, rating, and comments, which are usually the common fields for feedback apps. We will also add a Smart Paste button that, when clicked, processes unstructured clipboard text and uses Azure OpenAI via Semantic Kernel to populate the form fields. For example, if the clipboard contains a customer name, their email address, the rating that they have provided for a product, along with their comments, the form will automatically fill in the name, email, rating, and comments fields. We will also add validation to ensure that fields like email are correctly formatted and required fields aren't empty. This demo will show how easy it is to integrate Smart Paste and how it enhances the user experience. We will cover setting up the .NET MAUI project, integrating Semantic Kernel. Don't worry if Semantic Kernel is new, I will explain its role as we code. Design a feedback form using Syncfusion's .NET MAUI DataForm, and finally, enabling Smart Paste functionality. Before we dive into the code, let's make sure you know what you will need to follow along or to try this out on your own later. You will need Visual Studio 22 with the .NET MAUI workload installed. Also ensure you have access to Azure OpenAI service and have set up a deployment in the Azure portal. Now let's move to the IDE for the demo. The project that you see on screen is a new project created by me of type .NET MAUI app. .NET 9 is the framework used. With respect to the changes already made to the project code, I've removed not needed files and added images to meet our requirements. Also, I've added a class named Azure Base Service to hold details related to Azure OpenAI service configuration. As the first step, we will start by integrating Semantic Kernel with our .NET MAUI app. Before that, I'll provide a quick overview of what Semantic Kernel is. Semantic Kernel is an open source SDK from Microsoft that simplifies integrating large language models into your apps. Think of it as a middleware that connects your .NET code to AI services like Azure OpenAI. It allows you to send prompts to AI models in order to process data, and in our case, like extracting fields from clipboard text. It combines AI with traditional programming logic, making it easy to handle tasks like form filling. It also abstracts away complex AI API calls so you can focus on building features. So now let's install the Microsoft Semantic Kernel NuGet package. For that, we will navigate to Manage NuGet Packages section and search for Microsoft Semantic Kernel. Let's install it. The package has been installed successfully. To configure Semantic Kernel, we will use the GPT-4o model. We will start by creating Semantic Kernel Service class. I'll just provide the name of the class, which is Semantic Kernel Service, and add it. As discussed earlier, the OpenAI service configuration details are retrieved from the predefined Azure Base Service class, which you will be seeing now. We will be adding properties for endpoint, deployment name, and the key. You can use your credentials over here. Following this, we will add necessary properties or variables to be used in an upcoming method to be used in this particular file. Okay, so now let's add a method name getResponse from GPT to connect to Semantic Kernel. The method has been added. This code sets up a connection to the Azure AI chat completion service, which allows you to send prompts to the model and receive necessary responses. We also add the user prompt as user message to the conversation, following which we get the chat completion from the kernel. With that, we have successfully set up the semantic kernel and connected to it. Now let's create the feedback form using the Syncfusion .NET MAUI DataForm control. For that, let's navigate to the Syncfusion's official documentation. As a first step, we need to install the Syncfusion MAUI DataForm NuGet package. We will navigate back to Manage NuGet Packages section and search for Syncfusion MAUI DataForm. Let's install it. The package has been installed successfully. Now we will register the handler for Syncfusion core, for which we will copy the code from the documentation and paste it in Maui program.cs file. Let's cross check it once. Now we will import DataForm namespace to initialize the control, for which we will again copy the code from the documentation and add it to main page.xaml file. Along with it, we will also add the Maui DataForm namespace to access all classes used in this particular project. Okay. Before designing the feedback form, what we will do is we will create the feedback form model with the necessary fields. For that, I will add a folder name model and then the class name feedback form. Okay, the name has been provided. So let's add it. In this particular class, we will add necessary fields for name, email, product name, product version, rating, and comments. Let's go ahead with adding the necessary properties that we just discussed. We have name, followed by which we have email. Now coming to the properties related to the products. We have product name and product version. With respect to the customer feedback, we have properties for rating and then comments. Next, we will just initialize these properties. We will also add necessary attributes to the properties to customize the label and prompt display to enhance user guidance and experience. In addition to this, we will also implement validation to ensure the input data as per the rules that we set, like whether a field is required or not, whether it's valid or not, and so on. We will just add the required attribute for the name property, and we'll mention the error message. So name is required in this particular form. For email, we will just check whether it's valid or not. And finally, for rating, we will ensure whether it's between a specific range that we have like mentioned. Now let's create the feedback view model class and add the necessary code in it. For that, I will add a new folder name, ViewModel, and add the class. Feedback view model is the name of the class. We will make necessary changes to this particular class and add necessary properties. Okay. Following this, we'll proceed to design the feedback form. For that, we will just navigate to the main page XAML and add the design. We'll just cross check it. Now we will just run the source to check the customer feedback form design. We are faced with some errors. Let's find out what that is. Okay. We have missed to remove default code that's like available in the main page XAML.cs file. Let's remove it. Now let's run again. Okay, the source has run successfully without any issues. And there you go. This is the customer feedback form that we set out to achieve with the necessary fields available, and we have a smart paste and a submit button. We'll just move back to the design. As you can see, the design has an image, following which we have a label, and then we have Syncfusion's dataform control. Finally, we have a couple of buttons to smart paste and submit the form. The .NET MAUI dataform control automatically generates the data editors based on primitive data types in the data object property. Here, the feedback form model is set to the data object property from the ViewModel class, enabling the creation of data editors for the feedback form. Now that the feedback form has been designed, what we will do is we will move to the core part of the session, which is enabling the smart paste functionality. For that, we will add the clicked event handler in the respective button. The method name is on smart paste button clicked. Following this, we will add the necessary events in the main page XAML.cs file. First, we will add necessary variables and instantiate the semantic kernel service class. Okay, the method has been added. This method checks whether the clipboard has copied data or not. If yes, the text is set to clipboard text, else an alert message is displayed to the user. You can also see the prompt sent to the get response from GPT method. The prompt checks whether the clipboard text matches the form's data object field names, and the AI returns the merge JSON, which is then processed and incorporated into the data form. Once the merge JSON response is received from the AI model, the feedback form fields will be updated with the extracted values. The response is deserialized into a dictionary, which is then used to populate the corresponding fields in the data object property of the data form. Let's check this error. For this, I believe we need to install Newtons of JSON package. We will install it. We will add the necessary namespace to fix this particular error. Finally, we will add the on submit button clicked event to handle the field validation and submitting the form. For that, we will add the event in the respective button where clicked equal to on submit button clicked. We will just add this method in the main page xaml.cs file. This method displays alerts if the form has been submitted successfully or notifies the user to enter the necessary details. Okay, we are done with the coding part. Now let's run the source to check the output. So let's make use of this unstructured customer feedback that you see on screen, where we have the name of the customer, the control that he has been using, the feedback, along with the rating that he has provided for this particular control. The email address is also available. So I'll just copy this and let's move back to the application. I'll just click on Smart Paste button. As you can see, the necessary details have been filled automatically. We have the name, the email address, the product name, the product version, rating, and then the feedback. I'll just click on submit. So you get the dialog which says feedback form submitted successfully. Now let's try the validation cases too, where I'll just make the required fields empty and try entering an invalid email address and click on submit. So we get the necessary dialog which says please enter the required details. So we have achieved the required output, and with that we have come to the end of the demo. Before we wrap up, let's review what we have learned today. Today we explore the AI-powered Smart Paste feature with Syncfusion's .NET MAUI DataForm, which uses Semantic Kernel and Azure OpenAI to parse unstructured clipboard text and populate form fields. We built a customer feedback form, integrated AI, and saw how it saves time and reduces errors. We can use this for surveys, feedback, orders, or any form-based app in retail, healthcare, or HR. So that brings us to end of today's session. I hope this session gave you valuable insights.